the human eye. The human eye is the most valuable and sensitive sense organ, and it is a natural optical instrument. The eye is nearly spherical in shape with a slight bulge in the front part, and it enables us to see the beautiful, colorful world around us. Let us discuss about the important parts of the eye and their functions. Cornea. The front part of the eye is covered by transparent spherical membrane called cornea. Light enters the eye through cornea. Iris. Just behind the cornea is a dark-colored muscular diaphragm which has a small circular opening in the middle. Pupil. Pupil is a small circular opening of iris. The pupil appears black because no light is reflected from it. The dark center in the middle of the iris. The pupil determines how much light is let into the eye. It changes sizes to accommodate for the amount of light that is available. The iris regulates the light by adjusting the size of the pupil. Let us see how iris regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. When the intensity of light is more, or if it is a bright source of light, then the iris makes the pupil to contract, and as a result, the amount of light entering the eye decreases. When the intensity of light is less, or if the light is dim, then the iris dilates the pupil so that more light can enter the eye. Eye lens. The eye lens is a convex lens made of a transparent jelly like proteinaceous material. The eye lens is hard at the middle and gradually becomes soft towards the outer edges. The eye lens is held in position by ciliary muscles. The ciliary muscles help in changing the curvature and focal length of the eye lens. Retina. The inner back surface of the eyeball is called retina. It is a semi-transparent membrane which is light sensitive and is equivalent to the screen of a camera. The light sensitive receptors of the retina are called rods and cones. When light falls on these receptors, they send electrical signals to the brain through the optic nerve. The space between the retina and eye lens is filled with another fluid called vitreous humor. Blind spot. It is a spot at which the optic nerve enters the eye and is insensitive to light, and hence the name. Let us discuss about accommodation of the eye and power of accommodation. Accommodation of the eye. The process by which the ciliary muscles change the focal length of an eye lens to focus distant or near objects clearly on the retina is called the accommodation of the eye. Power of accommodation. The ability of the eye to focus objects lying at different distances is called the power of accommodation of the eye. How does an eye focus objects at varying distances? When the ciliary muscles are relaxed, the eye lens becomes thin. Thus, its focal length increases and we see the distant objects clearly. When the ciliary muscles are contract, then the curvature of the eye lens increases and the eye lens becomes thick. Thus, its focal length decreases and we see the nearby objects. In brief, it is adjustment of the focal length of the eye lens which enables us to focus on objects situated at different distances. Least distance of distinct vision, near point. Near point or least distance of distinct vision is the point nearest to the eye at which an object is visible distinctly. For a normal eye, the least distance of distinct vision is about 25 centimeters. However, it varies with age of the person. For example, for infants, it is only 5 to 8 centimeter. The far point of the eye. Far point of the eye is the maximum distance up to which the normal eye can see things clearly. It is infinity for a normal eye. Cataract. The crystalline lens of people at old age becomes milky and cloudy. This condition is called cataract. This causes partial or complete loss of vision. It is possible to restore vision through a cataract surgery. Range of vision. The distance between the near point and the far point is called the range of vision. Impulse. In this module, we discuss about impulse. Definition. A large force acting for a short interval of time is called impulse, or it can be defined like this. The product of the force and time that produce a finite change in momentum of the body is called impulse. Mathematically, it can be represented like this. I is equal to F into delta t. Impulse is a vector quantity, which is in the direction of force. The dimensional formula is m power 1, L power 1, t power minus 1. Suppose the force, acting for t seconds, changes the velocity of the body from u to v units. Then momentum p, which is given by the product of mass and velocity, change in momentum from mu to mv units, so that change in momentum is delta p is equal to mv minus mu is equal to m into v minus u units. But acceleration a is equal to v minus u by t. So delta p is equal to ma into t is equal to f into t is equal to I. This is nothing but the rate of change in momentum f delta p by t. Hence, Newton's second law may be reworded as follows. The rate of change of momentum of a body is equal to the resultant force acting on it and occurs in the direction in which the force is acting. Examples for impulse. 1. To hit a nail into a wall, a large force is to be applied for a small time. 2. When a ball is hit by a tennis player using his racket, large force is applied for a small time. 3. A billiard ball struck by a cue. 4. Cricket ball hit by a bat, etc. These are the examples for impulse. Applications. These are some applications of impulse in nature. 1. A person falling from a height into a cement floor gets hurt due to large force acting for a short time. Person falls into a sandy floor from the same height. The person does not get hurt because for the small change in momentum, greater time is required. 2. Shock absorbers are used in vehicles to reduce the magnitude of impulsive force when they travel on uneven roads. Shock absorbers increase the time of action, reducing the force. Is very soft tissue and is surrounded by bony case called cranium, which is made of skull bones. Cranium protects brain from injuries. The brain can be divided into 3 parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. A. Forebrain. Forebrain is the largest part of the brain. The forebrain consists of cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. Cerebrum forms the major part of the human brain. A deep groove in the middle of the cerebrum divides into two equal halves. Each half is called as cerebral hemisphere, right and left. The right and left cerebral hemispheres are connected to each other by a bundle of axons called corpus callosum. The outer portion of cerebral hemisphere is gray in color and is called cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex contains motor areas, sensory areas, and large regions that are neither clearly sensory nor motor in function. These regions, called as dissociation areas, are responsible for complex functions like intersensory associations, memory, and communication. There are several ridges, elevations, called gyri, and grooves, called sulci, on the surface of the brain. They increase the surface area of the cortex so that it can accommodate more number of neurons. 3 deep grooves present across each cerebral hemisphere, divided it into 4 lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes. Expression of emotional reactions, example, excitement, pleasure, rage and fear, and motivation. B. Midbrain. Midbrain consists of groups of nerve cells and a large number of myelinated axons of the nerve cells present in other regions of the brain. Midbrain is located between the thalamus or hypothalamus of the forebrain and pons of the hindbrain. A canal called the cerebral aqueduct passes through midbrain. The dorsal portion of the midbrain consists of 4 round swellings, lobes, called corpora quadrigemina. Midbrain and hindbrain form the brain stem. Some of the nerve cells in this midbrain region control body muscles and their movements. C. Hindbrain. Hindbrain comprises pons, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata.